Hey everyone, welcome back to another extended patch notes for May 22nd, 2017. This is a pretty sparse list to say the least. It was right after a bonus experience weekend, so you can't really expect too much, I guess. But I'm just going to go ahead and go over it and give a little bit of what I think about it. Okay, so in graphical, there are some missing point lights in the Shattered World staging area that have been put back in. The loved up rusting animation now loops correctly. A graphical issue with the samurai outfit has been fixed. A guard on the hill north of Falador has had his chat head restored. Well, that sounded bad. The angelic Inari pet now appears correctly when set as a familiar override. So, all those are just cosmetics. In skills, D&D, and minigames. Broken sigils from the Shattered Worlds are now always kept on death. Bladed Dive can no longer be used while bounded by various boss attacks. A typo on the Abyssal Knight Quartermaster has been fixed. Summoner can no longer give Slayer assignments to underleveled players. The level 3 herb lore level up message has been corrected to mention recruitment drive instead of null. Smithing Dragonbane bars no longer displays a negative quantity. Players can now deposit offhand weapons in Stealing Creation. The scavenging perk message is now white, and the type of component, rare or uncommon, is colored. It no longer is possible to place Dwarven Challenge barrels on top of portable skilling locations. It is now possible to add compost to the Trollheim patch when it has something growing in it. So the Trollheim patch is just a little bug fix. The Dwarven Challenge barrel seems like it was just annoying, and almost nobody has it anyway, so probably wasn't that big of a deal, but it was just a troll. The rest of this all seems like bug fixes, really. Summoning no longer giving Slayer assignments to underleveled players is a really big thing. I would imagine that you would have to have been buffed by like a Slayer pie or something, so it probably was achievable to get to the level, but still, that means that you don't have to boost to get to a Slayer challenge. It should never have been a thing anyway. Sorry about the car in the background, by the way. They tend to drive by about this time every day. Probably should have waited till later to record. So, under quests, challenges, and achievements. Inakra's Lament now displays the correct requirements for prayer and magic in the quest journal. A typo in the quest journal for one piercing note has been fixed. Players can no longer reroll daily challenges for free. The Troublesome Crystal achievement now shows the list of crystals needed and acquired. An issue that was preventing the Taskmaster emote from unlocking has been corrected. Explorer Jack now once again hands out rewards for completing area achievements. The achievement tracker will now shuffle achievements upward if there is an empty space. So Explorer Jack, he actually can give you like up to 2 or 3 million coins if I recall. It's quite a bit of coins. So him not giving out coins is a big deal. It's good that they fixed that. I was looking up the Troublesome Crystal achievement. I'm not 100% sure. It's hard to find on Google. I'm assuming it has something to do with the Prifindus, those crystals that you gather. Not 100% sure though. But hopefully that's what it is. I'm guessing it just tells you which crystals you need to still acquire. Rerolling daily challenges for free. I wish I knew how to do that, but it was probably a bug, so probably it was good that I didn't. The rest of that is basically just fluff. Okay, in the others, there are quite a few others, and there's actually a couple big ones that I want to mention. I'll probably stop during that. The road to Menaphos is now highlighted on the world map for players who have some quests to complete. So, helping people get to Menaphos is 2 weeks away, so hopefully everybody's starting to get those quests completed that doesn't already have the quest completed that you need to do. Players can now teleport to the Grand Exchange or Miscellanea with the Luck of the Dwarves ring. Count Check has been moved back to the Stronghold of Security. I think he was moved for a random event, so whatever. The 5% increased damage buff is once again the 5% increased damage buff is active once again for the Majorat aura. I think that's a seasonal thing, so that's nice. The Zeros Godsword special has been buffed. Melee attacks performed while standing inside the black hole now do 25% additional damage, up from 10%. I doubt that most special attacks are completely useless, and I doubt that this is going to make the Zeros God Sword any better than the Noxious Scythe, seeing as how I believe it's still not a 2 range and it costs way more. So I doubt that anybody's going to start using the special just because they buffed it up a little bit. The Ward of Ictharlian will now heal the correct amount with Death Support unlocked. That's just from the aura for getting, what was it, the whole year worth of membership right at the beginning of the year. It probably didn't give the buff. Death's now has some buffs. Death's Door now has some buffs where you kill all the boss monsters. And one of them is to increase the amount of life that you get from the Sign of Life. So Ward of Ictharlian probably just was coded differently, so it didn't get that buff. It now does. The Berserker Maniacal and Reckless Aura, 15% additional damage taken can no longer be avoided. Sounds overpowered if you could avoid that. I'm not sure how to, probably a bug. The item kept on death interface will now display the correct price if reclaimed. The items kept on death interface will now display the correct price if reclaiming the items from death. That's good. Players now consistently bank from any direction in Canifis. A typo in Cocoberry's examine text has been fixed. Spelling error, nobody cares. Attempting to withdraw from an inactive rune pouch no longer causes a disconnect. Antique, Skilling, Experience, Protein, and Rusty chests will now always be kept on death. Increased Strike Worm attack range so players can no longer safe spot them. Several examine issues on Barrow's augmented shields have now been fixed. Seals of Quirus, Faceless, Furies, and Dragon Riders, all from God Wars Dungeon 2, are now always kept on death, unless dying in the wilderness, where seals get converted to coins. A signpost in Catherby no longer allows players to stand inside of it. Detonate's buff icon will now attempt to display a percentage icon when it hits or gets near to 100%, so it can be more reliable. That is the magic threshold. It's the one where you charge up and then you get an AoE magic damage. It's actually really good, but it's kind of hard to figure out when you get to 100% because it was inconsistent whether or not it would actually show on the buff bar. So it's good that they fixed that a little bit. The following changes have now been made for the visualize option on the world map. Environment overrides will now no longer reset when teleporting to a lodestone. The Blood, Day, and Night Stone overrides are now available via Visualize if unlocked. The Shattered World skybox have now been added to Visualize. There are now buttons for each skybox filter menu to return to the previous menu. A couple hotfixes from last week. Apparently there was a bug with certain combination achievements. They fixed that. The mutated dazing shot, it used to give, or still does, give a dot damage over time. No longer is reflected or absorbed by Nex or by Raxor. And something to do with skyboxes, I'm just going to read that one. The skybox filter menu will now stay open when selecting an option, allowing players to cycle through them. I have no idea what that means, but they've fixed a lot of skybox stuff. And a ninja fix, the high score interface will now only display the seasonal high score tab if there is an active seasonal running. Otherwise, it defaults to regular high scores. Nice. Okay, so all in all, pretty little week, especially for it being a week where there isn't an actual update, just these fixes. Couple main things, it's couple damage increases or basically bug fixes. It's a lot of itty bitty little things. If you want to pause at any point during this, you can read it all yourself. I did read it all to you except for the one stupid spelling error. Hopefully you guys will all enjoy this. If you do, go ahead and leave a like down below. I'm not 100% sure if I want to do this every single week or weeks that are a little bit more interesting. So I would love to get you guys' feedback from it. As always, this has been a Tech Tale production. Have a good one.